Hi, folks. I hope you're well. So, yeah, it's quite beautiful. We have a little tie off in a way. Well, this whole point that you can understand church just by understanding what the Lord said about worship, prayer, and who you give the glory to, as in who the one is who is responsible for you bearing fruit, which is Father, and see what the church does with it. And communion and other things. There's quite a lot of stuff you can look and see what the church doing. Are they listening to the Son of God? Are they obeying him? Or are they looking at the world and the church and deciding not offending people is more important? And yeah, that's cool. Well, I say to me, I ask questions with God for years and years and years and years, 27 years, about the church, why it was what it was, what we're doing that we shouldn't be doing, what should we be doing that we're not. And yeah. Now we have the answers. But I mean, one of the big answers came a long time ago, and that was that they've decided that pastor is the person who should be leading the church. They've decided that pastor is the church's shepherd, as in that individual church's shepherd, the one responsible for leading the church. Yeah, the fact that we already have a shepherd, and the fact that we're supposed to be led by the Holy Spirit, yeah. The church was replacing the shepherd, the Son of God, and the Holy Spirit, born with one person, and thinking that that one person had the authority of God to do so and was chosen by God to do so. And the reality is, no. Especially if you go to Bible college and you decide to be trained according to that, because again, we have that whole misunderstanding and stupidity that God is going to use a worldly system of educating people to educate his people on how to lead each individual church for the needs of the individual people in those churches and the areas that they're in, which of course is impossible. It couldn't possibly happen. You don't have an education system in the world that can actually do that. Even the most private, wonderful education schools don't educate people to that level, to that specific level of detail which you would need to be educated to be able to be the leader of a church in a particular area with particular people and leading them according to God. Yeah, no, there's no education system that could do that. But this whole idea that you look to that because it's safe. Everything is about because it's safe. You let people be in charge of children that you don't go to God about. Instead, you go to the police about. The police can only tell you what has happened. They can't tell you what will. God can. But they won't go to God. They have a system. They have the safe system. The one that everyone else is using. Because if you're using a different system, something goes wrong, you're in trouble. You won't have the support of all the other churches, will you? Not unless you're using the same system they are. Because if you're using a different system, you're saying that they're wrong in doing what they're doing by the fact you're doing something different, right? So you won't have their support. So when the proverbial hits the fan, you are on your own with regards to certainly in the area and churches, you don't have any of that. None of it at all. And it's, And so people go for safe. And again, we understand that. So again, why? What's the big problem with the church? Sheep. You've basically got sheep put in control of leading sheep. So in the world, we have shepherds who understand you need a sheepdog to lead sheep. You need someone who's taking notice of the shepherd, taking commands from the shepherd to lead the sheep. In church, they don't do that. They have sheep leading sheep. Because they do. They have someone, again, as I said to you, you can't lead people down a path that you're not on. If you don't know that path, how can you lead people down it? You're not even on that path, are you? So in church, they can't lead you to heaven because they're not on that path. Their path, pretty much, it may have been towards heaven, but they are seed that fell on bad ground. And so, therefore, they went back to the world. Okay, and again, it's not about judging people. It's about saying, yeah, that's okay. You know them by their fruit. And by their fruit, it says that that is the case. But yeah. So again, most churches are doing things according to this because it's safe. It's a safe way. And again, most churches now are heading towards serving the community again because it's what people want. People want that. And again, sheep want that. Sheep, generally speaking, when you're watching Clarkson's Farm, they had a sheep in Clarkson's Farm who was sick, might have had something that was really bad that couldn't affect the other sheep. So they had to keep that one sheep alone. And they were saying that's really bad for that sheep because they need to be part of a bigger flock. They need to be part of that. And that's like people. People are the same. So therefore, people desire a community because the community is a flock. And people desire to be part of that. People desire to be part of something bigger. So church to most people is just being part of something bigger, rather than being anything to do with God whatsoever. And again, that's okay. That's people's choice. But again, I mean, we're not told by the Son that, those people who are bad ground are going to continue pretending they're of good ground. We're not told that. But that's what's happened. And again, according to the nature of people, that's what's going to happen. That's the nature of people. So here we are. We're in that situation. And so, yeah, it's good to understand it because then maybe it can be fixed. Maybe. Take care. God bless.